Hey everyone, it's Lisa Davis from Lisa Davis Body Construction. Over the last few years, since I've really started jump roping more seriously, I've spent a lot of money on jump ropes. And I want to preserve them. Also, as I've been getting older, hate using that term, but you know, it's true. Anyway, I need to prevent injuries. I'm kind of nursing an Achilles injury, so I have to be careful with too much impact. So in order to preserve my body and my ropes that I've spent a lot of money on and that I like, I've been trying to find out which is the best mat for me. I'm going to show what I found with each of these different mats, how much they kind of cost, where I got them, and see if you feel the same way that I do about them so that you can choose the best jump rope mat for you. When I'm traveling, I always take one of my older yoga mats with me because it's flexible, it's easy to stick in my bag, and it's light. Also, while I'm there, I can put it on sand or different surfaces, and it does provide cushioning, so that's nice. And it's not too loud because the slap of the rope against the mat can be really annoying, and I don't think it's too bad. I'm going to be using, with this test, my 4mm PVC rope that I got from Dope Ropes. I'll put a link below if you would like to find yourself something similar. They have a lot of varieties of ropes. I have other ropes from Dope Ropes too. This is just the one I'm using right now. You know, if you're into yoga, you don't want to trash your mat, and the rope will be abrasive on it and can ruin it a little, but this is just a cheap one. I've had it for a long time. It's an older one. So this is a little louder than just on the cement. But not too bad, and it's worth it for the cushioning. Also, as I said, when I'm traveling and I want to work out on the beach, I can use this on sand or volcanic rock and things like that, and it makes it stable enough that I can jump rope or soft enough that it doesn't trash my rope. The next thing I have is a runner, just a rug, and I think I got this at maybe Costco or something because I wanted something a little longer. And it's roughly the size, roughly the length of the yoga mat. It's also light, it's flexible. It was probably 10 bucks, so pretty darn cheap. And I feel like it has about the same cushioning as the yoga mat, but I think it's more durable than the yoga mat. Let's listen. I don't know if you can tell, but it's louder than the mat. So here's on the cement, here's on the mat. No way I'm going to work out for an hour with that. Next, I have a mat from Crossrope. And I spent a lot of money on my Crossropes, so I want to preserve them. And I bought this one. It's got the little tie around it. It's oval. And it's got a little, it's more thick. It's much more thick than either of those first two things I've shown you. It doesn't want to unroll, and it doesn't want to be flat. Now I keep my rope pretty short. I like them short, and I'm compact. But my rope still lands in front of me like it will everyone. And if it hits this bump, it's going to trip me up. Just a note. It's not as loud as that carpet runner. It's about the same, I would say, as the yoga mat. So the cement. If you're one who just jumps in place, this is probably going to be great. But I like to move around. And now my rope starts hitting the bump on that, and it messes me up. So, something to keep in mind. I have left this thing out flat for weeks, and it doesn't lose the bump. It stays there no matter what. So it doesn't seem to matter whether I roll it or keep it flat. Okay, this mat is from Dope Ropes, and it's really cushiony. It's probably about the same amount of cushioning as the one from Crossropes. It's much more flexible though. and it's rectangular, and it lays flat. If I roll it up, put it out of the way, get it out, it just lays flat right off the bat. It's about the same length and width. Obviously it's not oval, but it's about the same. So maybe you can hear, I think it's a little louder than the Crossrope mat. So I like it. It slips around a little bit. I don't know if the Crossrope mat moves around. I've never noticed it do that. This one, it moves. So sometimes it just drives me batty and I can't. Now, if I were on cement, it wouldn't move, but this is a coated surface. I use it on my deck. That's Trex, and it slides on that too. So that's something to keep in mind. But it is a little noisy, bothers me a bit. So I bought a doormat, again, Costco, 10 bucks, and I put it on top. It's about the same length, but it's a little bit narrower than the width. Now this feels great because it's 2 mats in one. Well, 2 mats in 2. And it is got such nice cushioning, and you can't even hardly hear that rope. It is the quietest thing that I've put out here yet for you. And I love that it is so cushioned with the 2 mats. That's awesome. However, it's again kind of like the Crossrope mat, a little too short. It doesn't have the bump like the Crossrope mat, but what happens is my rope catches on the corner. And I'll show you a picture of a couple weeks ago. I was doing a trick, and it was not a crazy trick, and I've done it before, but it caught the edge, and the rope just came up in a weird way and whipped me right in the face, and it broke the skin. I had a scab. It looked like I'd been beaten by my husband probably. Anyway, had a U-shaped mark on my face for about a week. So that was awful. I did not like that at all. If I'm outside, I wear sunglasses, and that might have helped, but I never wear sunglasses indoors to protect my face from the rope. So that's a risk. And we all know we get whipped all the time. It's gonna happen, but I don't wanna make it happen. And I know I'm hitting the rope on the corners. Another thing is this rug from Costco is heavy. It's a doormat for like an entrance. So if you're gonna take it somewhere, it's not gonna wanna go. It's gonna be heavy. So that's something to keep in mind. This is just an equipment mat that I've had for a long time, but I pulled this one out after I whipped my face because it's longer and bigger, and it's much less likely my rope's gonna catch a corner when I'm moving around. It's obviously not as thick as, it's about the same as the yoga mat probably, but not as thick as the Crossropes one or the Dope Ropes mat. But it is loud. So I was using this, and I couldn't stand it. Like even with my earphones on noise canceling, just annoying. So there's on. But longer. I can move around. I can do things that make me lengthen my arms and therefore my reach and my rope. And I haven't whipped myself at all. Well, I have from normal stuff, but it hasn't caught the end. So, long, but loud and not as thick. And I got this one off of Amazon, Serene Life. It's upside down, probably backwards for you too. It's thicker, just a tad, maybe, than that one I just showed you. And it was cheap. I think it was like $35. So not bad at all as far as cost. It already has a gouge out of it, so it's not gonna be super durable, I'm guessing. and I've hardly used it. So it's loud. You can see it, maybe you can see. If you roll it up, it doesn't flatten out. At least the equipment mat, it flattened out. After I just barely unrolled it, it was great. So this is really loud. So far, I would say it's the loudest of all the ones I've shown you. Here's off, on. But it's long, so that's nice. And it was cheap. So if you don't have much cash, but you need some cushioning and you want to protect your rope, this is probably the cheapest of all the things I've shown you other than the doormat. Okay, I decided to splurge. Well, for me, I think this one's more expensive than any of the others, but it's much bigger, thicker. It was also from Amazon. It's Sensu, S-E-N-S-U. And I noticed it had some different prices after I bought it. I think I paid like $125 or something for it. And the equipment mat, by the way, I don't remember how much that cost because I've had it for a long time. It probably wasn't very much. And I told you how much this Serene Life one was. Yeah. The Crossrope mat, I don't remember. I want to say like $85. I don't know. And the dope ropes one was around 65 or 85. I can't remember. They have a big one too. I just haven't bought that one. And so this Sensu mat was more. But look how big it is. It's, I don't know, what's that? 3-4 feet? I don't remember. It's big. So I have really liked this, and it has these little suction cups on the bottom kind of things. They're not really suction cups, but they're grippy. And this doesn't move. So it's thicker to start with, it's grippy, and it's big. It's louder than the floor, but no louder than any of the other things. And definitely quieter than just the equipment mat or that cheap mat. The Serene Life mat, that was so loud. Cement, remember this is a coated cement. So then I started thinking, but I love the double cushion of the two mats with, you know, the one with the, it was the dope ropes mat with the doormat on top. I love that cushioning. So I decided to double up the equipment mat and this Sensu mat. They're the same length, they're just not the same width. So now I have that double cushioning. And I have been using this for about 2 weeks like this. And this is my fave. These are lighter, so I can tote them around the yard, use them in the backyard, then the front yard, then in here. And I have lots of room. It doesn't slip even on my deck. And I can move around. I can do all sorts of moves and not have it hit the corners. I'm still moving on or working on this. You know, I always thought I was a quick learner, but I'm not, but I do learn. So, and I am a hard worker. So I'm not gifted with any tricks, that's for sure. I have to practice forever. And then I still think my form needs a lot of honing. I will list each of these mats that I've talked about in the description box along with the current prices. And if I can find links for them, I will also include those. The dope ropes mat will also include, if you were to use a link for that, that would include a 20% discount if you use my code or my link there and my discount code of Lisa Davis. And they have a bigger one too, so I'll list those prices as well. So So go out and get yourself something. Anything's better than nothing. It'll preserve your rope much better, even though these don't cost much. And like I said, I've got a discount code if you want to look on dope ropes. There's 2 links. One's for EU, one's for USA. They're not that much money, but I really like them so much. I don't want them to get worn out. But in other ropes, and when I don't use a mat, the bottom where it hits the ground gets so thin, I've had them break apart completely. So, and they're unruly. If your rope gets worn down on the end, it starts twisting and doing weird things, and it makes it more likely that you'll miss. So even if you're like, I don't care, this is a cheap rope, it's not very convenient. So anyway, that's a lot of things you can look at and test them out for yourself. The prices I told you roughly. And anyway, have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.